Hi, everyone. I'm Jennifer Whitaker, trauma specialist. And if this is the first time you've come across one of my videos, welcome. And if not, it's great to have you as part of the community, and I'm glad that you're back. Please like, share, subscribe. Today, I'm going to talk about New Year's resolutions. And I'm not doing a series. This is just going to be a one-off video. So according to Forbes Magazine, 80% of people admit to abandoning their New Year's resolutions by February. And according to Inc. magazine, only about 9% of people actually meet their resolutions. So after February, another 11% of people drop off along the way. And why is it that so many people fail at achieving their resolutions? According to Economic Times, most people blame their failure to fulfill resolutions on lack of time, resources, motivation, or a loss of zeal after starting. The statistics sound pretty grim, and they might make you wonder if it's even worth setting New Year's resolutions for yourself. And you would have a valid argument either way. If you are in the school of thought that says yes, then what can you do to increase your chances of success? Well, let's talk about a few tips that can help you avoid setting yourself up for failure with New Year's resolutions. First of all, let's get perfectly clear on what a resolution is, and be careful not to treat resolutions and goals the same way because they are different. A resolution is a statement of what you want to change. It's a firm decision to do or not to do something. A goal is a statement of something you want to achieve, and goals require planning, action steps, and a time frame. A resolution is a trajectory, and a goal is aiming for a very specific target. Resolutions are oftentimes ongoing, while goals are time limited. And oftentimes resolutions are more like lifestyle changes, whereas goals are more like projects. So keep these differences in mind and get perfectly clear on whether you want to set specific time-limited goals, or if you want to set your life on a different trajectory, which is more open-ended, ongoing, and it's that lifestyle adjustment. And even if it's only a 1% difference in that trajectory, the further you get down the road, the more you deviate from your spot of origin. Maybe you discover that you're going to set a couple of each. Maybe you're going to have resolutions and goals. However you would choose to approach New Year's in your resolutions and goals, I do recommend using the correct verbiage when you do so to avoid any further confusion. Just keep it crystal clear for yourself. And if you decide that you're going to set goals, I recommend using the SMART goals approach. That can be helpful for reaching those achievements that you want. So for a quick overview, here's a reminder of what SMART goals are. S is specific. For efficient planning, be as specific as possible and clearly state your goals. Measurable. Be certain your goals are measurable and have an effective measuring tool so you can track your progress along the way. Actionable. Make sure any action steps required to achieve your goal are within your control. Realistic. Be honest with yourself about your capacity and capability. Being realistic avoids unnecessary overwhelm, stress, and frustration. Time-bound. A deadline can help keep you focused, motivated, and inspired as you work toward that goal. So let's go further into the differences between resolutions and goals. Resolutions tend to originate from our internal world, and goals are something we want to achieve in our external world. A resolution can become a goal. So for example, let's say your resolution is to save money, and you already know if you need to do better at saving money, because whatever resolution you make for yourself, because that's a change that you want to make in your life, you probably already know, because there's a little voice in the back of your head that's been niggling around and nagging at you for quite some time. And that's oftentimes what we dump onto our resolutions list. So in your case, or this case, if it's saving money, that particular resolution can be really wise to turn into a goal. And the goal might sound like save $2,000 by depositing 5% of my weekly paycheck into a savings account for the next 6 months. So in order to get to that clear, stated, specific goal, I had to do some math, and I had to sit down, and I had to look at my finances and what I could afford, and I had to do some planning. This goal is specific: 5% of my weekly paycheck, $2,000 at the end of 6 months. It's measurable. I can track my progress by looking at my bank statements or logging online and checking my balance. It's actionable. I might have to set up a savings account, and then I have to do the action of depositing money into that account each week. It's realistic. It ends up being $77 a week. That's something I can afford. Maybe you've determined with your math that you can afford a lot more, or maybe you can afford less. Whatever works out for you. And it's time bound. I gave myself 6 months or 26 weeks. So goals require this level of planning. And this is one reason why people tend to fail at their resolutions, because they fail to take a resolution like saving money and turning it into a SMART goal and then sticking to it. And this always makes me think of Benjamin Franklin's famous quote: "By failing to plan, you are preparing to fail." Or maybe you're more familiar with Winston Churchill's version: "He who fails to plan is planning to fail." Same concept. But as I mentioned before, resolutions are less specific than goals because they set a new trajectory for change, which often leads to a different outcome than aiming for a very specific target or achievement. Oftentimes, the variables that affect resolutions can be harder or more difficult to control than one might imagine. And looking at some of the more popular resolutions, those ones that always top the list, the top 1 or 2 goals every year that you see in the magazines, they include some form of improved health and wellness. Never fails, like losing weight, eating healthier, exercise more, some iteration of that. While not impossible, resolutions of this sort can be turned into SMART goals, but it's a lot more challenging because we can't always control the outcome in the same way that we can with depositing or saving money. We can control the process, but the outcome might look very different than what we imagine. And when the process doesn't go as planned, it can feel like we failed when in fact, maybe we haven't. So for example, let's say that one of your resolutions is to lose weight, which is fantastic. You might even plan ahead and turn this resolution into a SMART goal. However, you may find that there are variables that are harder to control in this type of situation. A logical plan that people make is to eat less and exercise more as they work toward losing weight. And that sounds great, but it doesn't always work that way because we're talking about human physiology, and there are so many variables that might throw your plan off track. If human physiology were easy to work with, the medical system would be simple and easy. You'd go in, you'd give them your list of symptoms, and problem solved. We'd have it figured out. Unfortunately, physiology is not that simple. So for example, how well do you know the side effects of all the medications and all the supplements that you're taking? Sometimes prescription meds and supplements can make it more difficult to lose weight. Sometimes a medical condition causes weight gain, or hormonal issues might be at play. Perhaps it's a metabolic issue. Maybe you need to address your eating habits or your sleeping habits to get to the desired weight. And yes, having poor sleeping habits can absolutely impede your ability to lose weight. Stress can be a barrier to losing weight, or perhaps there's genetics at play, or something else entirely that I haven't listed. In this case of losing weight, I would not recommend setting a SMART goal. Leave this as a resolution. Here's what I would recommend instead. Number 1, make sure that you really thoroughly know your why. Why do you want to lose weight? Wanting to fit into your favorite pair of jeans again is a very different reason than wanting to improve your health. Wanting to gain strength, to tone up, or to nurture a more vibrant cardiovascular system, Those are very different whys than comparing yourself to others, which a lot of people do, especially whenever they're looking at their circle of friends and they realize that they might be a little bit bigger than everybody in their friend group. They might want to lose weight so they can feel like they belong or fit in better. Or they might want to make themselves more attractive so that really cute person that they see every day on the way to work will notice them. So if you've watched my videos in the past, especially my recent videos on boundaries, then you probably know where I'm going with this. I talk a lot about having that internal locus of control. And if your motivations come from that internal locus of control, you're more likely to stick to your resolve to lose weight, no matter how long it takes or how many variables that you encounter and have to navigate. If you have that external locus of control, you might be more likely to just abandon this goal altogether, get frustrated, feel bad about yourself and go into binge eating. Or if you are successful at losing weight, it's very possible that you'll be as unhappy with the end result as you are now before you begin. So that internal locus of control and that motivation, that original motivation, has a lot to do with the outcome. I recommend, if you're going to keep it a resolution, especially for losing weight, find an accountability partner. Losing weight is a really popular resolution, and you're sure to know someone in your family, social groups, neighborhood, somebody in your circle has this on their list too. It can be supportive and helpful to have someone to work out with, to check in with, to report your progress each week and listen to their progress each week. Share your victories and your misses with each other. Support each other in honest ways. And this is a great way to hold each other accountable. And as a bonus, it can keep both of you motivated and inspired a lot longer than going through the process alone. Another thing that you might want to consider is enlisting technology. There are several fitness apps out there now that provide many workouts. They help you track your progress. They help you make adjustments along the way if you plateau. They help you count your steps, the number of flights that you've climbed each day, so you can track your daily movements and your daily progress. And that can be really rewarding. And some of the apps even have fitness or nutrition specialists or somebody that you can reach out to if you need some help and assistance along the way too. And another way to help you meet your resolutions in a situation like this, where it's just not wise to turn it into a SMART goal, is to stack your habits. So start small. So for losing weight, start with one habit. Let's say that habit that you're going to begin with to build into your life is adding in walking. And you want to get to a point where you are consistently walking 4 times a week. When you get to that point where that is built into your lifestyle and it's easy, the next thing you might want to stack in an adjustment to your eating habits. So maybe that second stack on top of walking 4 times a week, you're going to exchange that daily dinner roll that's smothered in butter with a serving of vegetables instead. And the next stack might be something different. Maybe you're going to start going to the gym and getting some resistance training or weight training to build up some strength. So stack your habits and make sure one habit is fully established into your lifestyle before stacking another one into it. So when making your list of resolutions and deciding which ones to turn into goals or not, take the time to dig a little bit deeper into yourself. Ask yourself, is this something where I can control the variables? Can I control the action steps? Is it wise to turn this into a SMART goal? Or do I need to keep it a resolution and find an accountability partner or somebody who can help me along the way? If you want to give yourself the best shot at being in the 9% who actually do meet their resolutions, make sure those resolutions come from within and not from without.